The thoughts and opinions expressed during this broadcast are for entertainment purposes only. They are not facts. Now enjoy the show.
What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? It's the Not Impressed Podcast, episode 53. It's your boy Kenz, bro.
For Pete's sake.
And today we got a very special guest, a very good friend of mine.
I'm Kenz. I'm going to introduce myself.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I was going to keep going and just, you feel me, a
Yeah,
legend,
breakdown.
bodybuilding champion, athlete.
All right, I'm going to let you
Big
do
Kenz in
it.
the house. Big Kenz.
Big Kenz in the house. Let's give it up. You feel me? We got Big Kenz in here.
She'll personal train you, pick you up, beat your ass.
Personal
all types of
train
shit.
you.
Yep.
She can lift Kyle over her head.
Yep.
No, for sure.
So we do at the gym.
She could, for sure.
I told Kyle that he couldn't lift you in that challenge.
I did lift her, though.
Nah.
Barely.
I could,
Barely.
nah, stop it,
Yeah,
bro. You
barely.
know I could lift
Barely.
her, though. Cut it out. But yeah, man, we got a very special guest in the house, man.
We got
Kenz Reeves,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Appreciate you for tapping in, for sure.
Glad to be here.
Mm-hmm.
how you doing?
I'm good.
First pod?
Recovering. First pod.
Mm-hmm.
A little nervous.
Nah, don't be nervous. Hey, the Not Impressed gang will welcome you
Yep. Welcome,
with
Big
open
Kenz.
arms. You know what I'm saying?
Put Big Kenz in the
Mhm.
chat.
Just know we got Big Kenz out here going crazy.
Going crazy.
Which is, talking about going crazy, you did just have a tournament, your first bodybuilding tournament.
Yeah.
Big.
The
Yeah.
first one, that was intense.
That was intense. That was nuts. Those girls were stacked. So some pretty good competition, which is what I wanted. But it was a hell of an experience.
Oh, yeah.
And gonna compete again, but we're gonna grow for like a year or so. But hopefully the next
Word.
one, December 2024 or January 2025. Hopefully. So
And
And
yoked.
And it's like, I see people doing this stuff, but until you see somebody close to you, you're the first person close to me that I got to like actually see the work and like the dedication it takes. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
what,
so-
what was the regimen like?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just for the people
Go
who
ahead.
don't know, that are just tapping in, like, what is some of the shit? Like, how long were you training?
Yeah. So I've been lifting for like 4 years or so now, maybe going on 5 now. But prepping for this competition particularly, I started bulking in April. And like the difference between like contest prep versus like people that just want to bulk,
Mhm.
like it's completely different because like, I talk about bulking, but I was like I've been eating the same thing since April, just in different proportions, whether to bulk up or to cut down. So it's like eating the same thing every day, extremely intense weightlifting while you're bulking, and then extremely intense cardio while you're cutting. And then towards the end, they start manipulating, your sodium, your water, and the toll that takes on your body. Like, always tell people, bodybuilding is not for health. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a sport. So it's not, it doesn't make you feel good towards the end. Like, your body feels like shit. You feel like shit. But you do what you do to, bring the best results. Just the same as any other sport,
No, for
any
sure.
other athlete is training.
sure.
You don't play sports for health. But I think like a lot of people get that like misconstrued. So it's one of those things that if you've never been through a bodybuilding prep, you won't understand, because it truly is like a gnarly fucking
No,
sport.
for sure. But to be specific, like when it comes to bulking and shit, like when you first started, how many times a week are you working out?
6 days a week.
6 days a week.
Yeah,
How many hours
I don't miss.
a workout?
About 3.
About 3 hours a
Damn.
workout.
Yeah.
6 days a week.
Yeah.
And then when you're bulking,
That
like,
dedication.
because the thing that got me,
Gotta
I tell
be-
this story to like everybody, but like, thing that got me is when I went to your house and you were eating.
Yeah.
And you were just eating a whole plate of ground turkey with
Yeah.
a plate of broccoli.
Yeah.
And I chilled with you for like an hour and a half, and you
Yeah.
said you were about to eat the same thing again.
Yeah.
And it was like 9:30 at
And
night.
that's what we're eating like breakfast, lunch,
Yeah,
dinner.
what is the meals like?
Okay, so when I was bulking, like that's the type of shit that it's 11:30 p.m. and I'm shoveling shit in my mouth trying to get all my meals in. It is uncomfortable. I'm not even gonna hold you up.
How many meals?
I believe it was 5 meals and 3 or 4 snacks.
And
I
like
can't remember
every
exactly.
like few
And these are
hours?
full
Yeah.
meals. Because like I
Yeah.
said, this is a plate of ground turkey. This isn't a small little meal.
Well, that's the thing. Bulking's easy when you eat bullshit, right? Like it's
Yeah,
easy to
yeah.
eat 3,000 calories a day if you're eating cheeseburgers.
So you have to eat like a specific.
But I'm eating clean because you don't want the spillover, meaning like you don't want to gain. There's a difference between weight gain and fat gain. You
Yeah.
feel me? So like I was trying to gain weight in muscle, but not in fat.
Fat,
So
yeah.
you have to do that. It's a very calculated sport. You have to trust your coach to calculate everything correctly for you and for your body, see how your body reacts to carbs versus reacts to little water versus like it's an extremely calculated sport. But yeah, when I was bulking, I was eating
Shit,
like 5 meals. Yeah, that shit was ass.
And like with this like competition, like so you said coach, like are you guys like on a team? Like
so he has a team. It's called Bodies by Sin Fitness. He's a great coach. He was my diet and my training coach, and then I had another coach named Katrina. She was my posing coach. So they worked kind of together, but I had a different coach for the different aspect of it. But it is like a team, and he puts people through like contest prep. But that's one thing I'll say about bodybuilding. Although I did have those 2 coaches and they're amazing, they're more than coaches. Like they're like family at this point, is what it feels like. But I pretty much like it's a lonely sport. Is the way to describe it. It's a lonely ass sport.
But it's like you still got to go in there and like, do your own basically.
Right.
So
right. Exactly.
So when it came to the bulking, we're looking at 6 days a week.
Yeah.
3-hour workouts.
Yeah.
5 meals a day, 2 to 3 snacks. All right. So you do that for how many months? Because you were training for like 5 months.
Okay. So I did April to all the way through the first week of July was bulking, and then my cut started after the first week of July.
And then with the cut, how many days a week?
So at first it was still 6, and then as we got a month out from the show, I trained 7 days a week for 4 hours a day. So
7 days a week.
Gruesome training.
For the people out there.
Oh yeah.
Let's let that sit in for a second.
Let's pick up 10 pounds.
Let's let that sit in for a second. 7 days a week.
That's right.
4 hours a day.
That
and
shit
you
is
can't
lonely.
get out there for one.
For what, like 2 months? Almost 2 months? A month?
It's crazy because it starts changing your mental on stuff. You have to like test, or you have to really find your patience, because like I was also coaching people through that, because that's my job, right? A lot of people have the luxury of taking time off work. I was still on my fucking feet, coaching, motivating other people. Man. And I had to find myself like taking a breath, because like when my clients would say something like, "Oh, I'm tired today. Like, can we reschedule?"
Like, bitch, you don't know tired.
Or like, "Oh, like I didn't do a week of the program because I had to work 2 hours more than normal." It literally would make me like twitch. Yeah. At that point in time, I was like, "Shut the fuck!" And I would have to find myself.
Like,
yeah, no, for
Start
real.
glitching and shit.
For real. So I would have to really like find my patience with that.
You're like Gary V. Time.
You don't have time. I don't have time.
Right.
I don't have time.
It was very that.
So when you're talking about the 4 hours of training, because we'll get off this in a second, but I want to talk about the cardio you were doing.
Yeah.
So what cardio were you doing in them 4 hours?
So as I was getting close to the show, about like a month or so out, 3 hours of my 4 was cardio. And that was really challenging for me, because I love to lift weights. I do not love cardio. I do the cardio.
No,
right.
lifting weights so much better.
Right, exactly. I do the cardio because it's what needs to be done, and I do what needs to be done. But
do what needs to be done.
Yeah, exactly. But an hour of that was intervals on the Stairmaster, and then it would be a 30-minute interval run, and then I would do my hour lift before that. So that was my first workout. Then I would have to come back for my second workout, and that was another hour on the stairs. That one wasn't interval. That was just at a certain level going. And
That's
then
crazy.
An hour on the stairs is crazy.
That's crazy. I was 2 minutes on the stairs that one time, and I was
that
like,
shit's
dead.
hard, bro.
Bro, 10,
it is.
10, about once I say I want 15. Once I get to 10, I want to get off that shit.
Yeah, it's
No
tough.
lie.
It's tough, and it was just boring, because then after that it was a 30-minute walk. So it's just like, it's also just it's hella boring, because once you get to a certain, like, that shit's hard, but when you do that shit every day, like all of a sudden an hour on the stairs, like towards the end of that, I was so conditioned, I would get off that and like not be sweating and like not be out of breath, and I would be like, that's actually crazy.
That is wild.
So at that point it was just boring.
Yeah.
Before we jump off of it, what made you want to get into like like being a bodybuilder?
Like being a bodybuilder?
Mm-hmm.
God, there's so many reasons. One, I love it because it makes me feel really, I guess, like connected to my body, because I have never really wanted to be like the way a conventional woman should look. And I do quotes because that's like a societal thing. But to me, I like it because it's like breaking those boundaries and kind of pushing the line a little bit. I want delts. I want traps. Like I want to be fucking jacked, unapologetically. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is I'm competitive, like at my core. And I think that we play sports when we're younger. We like play games when we're younger and like do all that. But as we get older, we stop doing that shit. And
real shit.
Yeah, like that shit's a game to me, you know, like that
I feel
shit
like
is
part
fun.
of it too for you, from what I seen, was just like, you want to push it to the limit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
He tells me all the time, you fuck him up. Like when you guys train.
No, when
like,
you work out, for sure.
Like, she gonna laugh at me if I lift up 45 pounds.
For sure. I feel like if you do 4 to 5 years of working out, like now you're at the point where it's just like, I've got myself the abs, like I've got myself the muscle. I can only get bigger at this point.
Right.
Like, really, that's the only really thing I have that I could do left.
Like,
is keep the aesthetic right. So it's like, what else can I do? And you're just like, fuck it. I'm trying to
let me go into the
let me see how far I can really make these muscles looking really. And so that's dope.
Totally. It's the intensity of it for sure. Yeah.
Can we get into a little controversy of it though?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, you know, you compete, right, versus women. So the idea of a transgendered woman competing against you, what is your take on that? Is there any like advantage? Say it how you want.
Be honest.
Say it how you want. Let's go.
Don't be afraid to be honest.
Don't be afraid. Be
honest.
Don't
be afraid to be honest.
I think trans women are women, and I think women should be able to compete in sports. I think that we have taken this gender thing too far to begin with, and we need to focus more on like the statistics of things. So like people that were assigned female at birth versus people that were assigned male at birth. But just because you're assigned male at birth doesn't mean that you're not a woman. So I just think that there needs to be more rules, like overall, to be more inclusive of everyone. And so like, obviously, you know, someone that has more testosterone than me is going to have certain advantages. But I don't think being like trans women shouldn't compete against other women, like that's not the take in my opinion. That's not the take.
It would probably have to be like a weight class thing or something, because I mean, if you get like a jacked,
look, we're not looking for a pure like, oh, it's supposed to be like this, that's not right. What we're saying is, and simple, like if you're honest about the conversation, is that when you're quote unquote assigned a man when you're born, you are born with your body creates more testosterone.
Correct.
You have more muscle mass. You have broader shoulders. You're most likely faster. You're most likely stronger. So, plain and simple, putting that against
there's gonna be I feel like if I'm competing against that,
exactly.
But
I'm not happy.
But let me put it to you like this too, though, because if you're really hyperfixated, and I'm not saying you guys specifically, but I'm just saying if you're hyperfixated on a trans woman competing in bodybuilding, do you not think the girls that I just competed against are not also taking like testosterone? Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're fucking taking their own steroids.
When you're telling me some of the stuff that you're telling me, I'm like, damn, it's a disadvantage regardless.
But also that's very
like
very
let's take it
different.
off of bodybuilding and let's bring it into like a sport like football. These guys are 200-300 pounds, pure muscle, 4% body fat. There's going to be a disadvantage. It's going to be like the water boy or the towel boy going out there
and playing against playing with women?
No.
Like if a woman came out and played
against a male in that sport.
Yeah.
And that's where, when we were having the conversation earlier.
So I think that's where the difference is. You know what I mean?
And
like,
when we were having the conversation earlier,
the
because I would love to see that. I want to see a woman play football against men, because I know there's a lot of women out there.
There's actually a woman that from college that just played first college female.
Yeah, that's fire. But like I remember in high school there was plenty girls that were like, they were quick, they could handle it, they would play. Like I would see them. They were out there, and like I would love to see that. But also we got to be fair and say like
there will be a disadvantage.
Isn't it crazy? Doesn't it kind of say something that the majority of people that are doing that is the latter? Like it's not trans women trying to play against men. It's
the opposite.
It's the opposite.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not denying that there's no denying that there's a difference in people's muscular build and stuff like that versus like when they have more testosterone versus more estrogen. I'm not denying that because that's science. But as far as like saying anything beyond that, I just think that we should have already had something that's more inclusive. Yeah, we should have already done something that's more inclusive or figured this out because now we're out here saying like, not saying that you guys are saying this, but like people are out here saying. We're just opening
up the conversation because this is a big
it is. And people are saying like, oh, like trans women are trying to take over sports and trans women are trying to but that is just bullshit because first of all, if you look at the percentage, there's barely any trans women that are even like, they'll tell the story of one and pretend like it's this huge like thing where it's like every trans woman ever is just trying to take over sports. Like that is just a narrative that is like anti-trans.
Okay,
that's what I think.
Okay, I think that there's a portion of that that's anti-trans, but also let's say this. Let's say you're a woman and you're a track racer. You've been running your whole life, training this your whole life. You got all your family coming out. You got your grandma who's from fucking Puerto Rico and she's coming out to come watch you race. Yeah. And she wants to see you race and you just find out that somebody who was born naturally a man who just became trans 2 years ago, a year ago, he's been a racer his whole life as a man, which obviously we know their races, they're faster. Yeah. The men's races are faster. He comes into your race and now you get second place, get dusted.
Yeah.
How the fuck you gonna feel about that? Like, are you not right to have any emotion about that?
I'm not saying you can't have emotion about it. I'm just saying that's the problem that I have with it is people put that on trans people. If a trans woman wants to compete, she should be able to, and there should be something set in place to where she can.
That's fair.
Like, that's what I think.
And I think the point you made about if we would have made something more inclusive in the first place, like if we already had men's and women's mixed.
Right.
In the first place, it would have kind of alleviated this whole situation in the first place.
That's like how it is in society.
But how do you even do that? Like,
but that's what I'm saying is we're behind because
trans. I be weight class and things like that.
Trans people have been around, but trans people have been around this whole fucking time. Yeah. So what I'm saying is like I'm not saying I know the answer, but I'm saying this should have been already thought about.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what is that solution.
Sure. Yeah, well, at this point, we kind of fucked up, huh? No, like now it's going to be harder to find a solution because now we're in this and we blame trans people. So that's the thing is like then it falls back on so say this trans woman wanted to run in this race, right? Mm-hmm. And the person that now got second is emotional about it because, I'm not saying this person doesn't have a right to be emotional, but the fault shouldn't be pointed at this trans woman. It should be pointed upon this like the systems we have in place that
I could agree with that
uphold this like bullshit.
I can agree with that, but at this point, I'm gonna say this: if I'm competing out there, I'm gonna feel some type of way, like if I'm going against somebody that was formerly a man, like that guy that won that swimming competition, like a Olympic swimming competition, like. I'm gonna feel cheated and shit. Like, and I get it. You don't attack the trans people for that, right?
Yeah, I'm not trying to. Yeah,
but we're not
that's not what we're trying to do at all. We're not trying to attack anybody.
But I'm just saying, at this point, there is no system in place.
There's not. Yeah.
So until there is a system in place, would it be fair to say that shouldn't happen then? Because I'm gonna feel some type of way. Me personally, like if I've been working all my life towards this shit, and then all of a sudden, like as a woman. I'm going hard. I'm the top of my class, and all of a sudden, this trans woman, but it was formerly a man, is competing against me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the fact that there's no system in place right now is like it's still kind of like I'm gonna feel cheated out of this system.
No, understandable. And for the record, for the people, like I said, I'm all for inclusion. Honestly, I understand both sides. I understand the fact that they also want to, perform and be in sports and do what they want to do. And I'm all for that. But I also can see how, to some people, it would be deemed unfair.
Yeah, if I was in the competition, I would be
like, and I don't want to, and it's like one thing just to have some competition, like he's better than me and he wasn't supposed to be in this race, yada yada yada. But it's like, no, he was naturally better than me already, and I was already at a disadvantage, and I didn't know this was going to happen,
I mean, I would say that the argument could be, though, too, is that, like, there probably is a good percentage of women that can outperform men
Yeah, there's some.
Period.
And that's what I was telling him earlier.
You know
It's like, you put Brittany Griner on the court with me in the league with me.
she's gonna dunk on you.
She's gonna destroy the fuck out of you. So it's not saying that all women are.
So I think you might be right about the
what,
system already had to be in place.
Yeah. I mean, we fucked that up.
Point.
We fucked that up. I just I think what I just noticed, and again, not with you guys, just in general, is that anger and that emotion about it, like, goes towards the trans community rather than towards some like what it should be going towards. As an athlete, systems. I'm competitive, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I want every playing field to feel even. Like, of course, that's
so you don't give a fuck if it's
normal.
man or female.
But but also I feel like if you went out there, you're gonna try your hardest, and it's gonna be a challenge for you. Like, I'm gonna try to beat this person.
Yeah,
but also after you might feel like
no, but that's what I'm saying is I'm not saying I don't understand someone having like concern or emotion about that, especially training for something. Training for something is extremely taxing.
Oh, for sure.
It takes over your whole life, and sometimes you train for something like in bodybuilding. You train for years for one
shot,
one show.
You dust everybody else in the race.
That's what I'm saying. You get to Olympic.
This is the only person that beats you.
You get to Olympic gold medalist status. And then you got to go against
Olympic gold medalists is fucked up. I think that's kind of fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you go to that, like you said, you did all that training, and you go there. Like, I think you would feel jaded.
That's a whole life.
No, but that's what I'm getting at.
Life's worth of training.
No, that's what I'm getting at, though. Is I'm saying I understand why people would feel some type of way.
But you would feel that way. Okay.
No, I would. But I just don't think that's like a problem of like trans, because like then people's analysis from that is trans women shouldn't be in sports, and that's just incorrect.
No. People are always going to
They should be able to compete the same way as everyone else, and they should be able to compete as women because they're women.
No,
it's just we need to like, if we're really going to make everything like fair, we need to find some sort of way for everyone to be able to do this inclusively.
No, for sure. People are always going to take stories and use it to drive their own narrative.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah,
so
of course.
The trans haters and the people like that are going to take that as soon as they see it and be like, oh, this is a fucking, let's get behind this and let's fucking flash this shit, you know? So I understand that point. But also just us speaking on the just morality of it and what's fair and what's not fair, just naturally. But also in the wild ain't shit fair. So, you know what I'm saying?
Survival of the fittest. That's what I'm saying. So you can get,
you know what I'm saying?
You go all type of ways. Outdo, like she's gonna outrun me, outlift me, out everything. You know what I'm saying?
It's also interesting that this is such a huge topic of conversation to me, just because of how rare it actually does happen.
Yeah.
In general,
that's been pretty rare.
But it's so rare. Now it's been more common.
Stories get blown up.
I've heard like 3 to 5. But.
Okay, well, I mean, I know your stance is that a transgender woman is a woman.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So when it comes to the female beauty pageant, Miss America or whatever, a trans woman winning that over all the women competing, that's okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like that one I guess is a little bit more okay, unless there's some kind of proof that they let that person win because of a narrative or because they didn't want to be looked down upon or something. Like if it was really because they checked all the boxes and did all that, but if there's any...
Or just because of, we want to make it historic.
That has nothing to do with, like, performance or performance, like, because they have, like, the talent portions, but as far as, like athleticism stuff...
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that's why.
I feel like that
if they could win based on beauty and on whatever performances and their speech and their dance and all that, then they won that, you know what I'm saying? There's
really no disadvantage.
Yeah, there's really no disadvantage.
I don't think so, no.
There might be more of an advantage for a female. Maybe,
but I think that it is definitely a possibility that somebody could fucking...
Because, I mean...
They don't want to be looked back because, like, they don't want to, like, not give this person first or being nervous about, you know, how it's going to look. Or they want to drive a narrative or they... Like, if there's anything with that, I feel like that's fucked up.
I mean, a few years back, didn't Caitlyn Jenner win like an award like for like the most inspirational woman?
Inspirational woman.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Come on, let's go.
She's warming up now. Let's go. After this, this is the last question, and we're gonna get off of this.
The reason why I'm fucking laughing is because like I fucking hate the Jenners and the Kardashians. Like I hate them as people. I don't give a fuck about
fucking royalty for no reason or what.
I don't care how they identify. I don't care about that at all. I just hate them as people. So that's why I started laughing. And fuck fuck them. So Caitlyn Jenner is not inspirational even a little bit to me. I don't know what women she inspires. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Hey, that's it. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, fucking.
I'm so
I had some more to say about that, but let's move on. We've been talking about this too much. But anyways, on some lighter shit, did you guys see those new Ray-Ban glasses? I'm trying to get
Give me my money.
You didn't see them?
No.
Give me my
Those
money.
things are crazy.
Are they expensive?
No, they're only $300.
$399.
They're only $300. But basically, it's augmented reality, and like you could talk to it. It'll like say there's a broken faucet. You could look at the faucet and be like, how would I fix this? And it'll show on your and tell you how to fix it.
You're not going to the mechanic no more.
Literally.
Does that not make you nervous a little bit?
I mean, it is, and that's what everybody keeps. That's what everybody keeps saying.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so the only
it's gonna get weirder and weirder now. We're live.
Well, you guys might have noticed that the sound might have changed up a little bit in the middle there. We had some technical difficulties. You know, I got too many videos of Pete's mom on my computer. That shit's all full. That shit don't got no memory left, and it cut off. But
too much in the frame or what?
Too much. How does a 10-second video take 20 gigs? That shit crazy. Too much pixelation, man.
I'm about to be mad as fuck. When
she about to be in the comments. Shout out
y'all
to
are stupid.
She was mad because we said that Shantae, shout out to Shantae and DG for stopping by. Mm-hmm. But she said, we're like, oh, the first female. My mom was like, what the fuck?
Oh, I forgot about that.
She's like, what the fuck, you lying?
You're not a female, Linda. You're Peter's mom. That's different.
Yeah, she was like, she's like basically like, oh, you guys are tripping. That shit is like, that's not the first female.
That's disrespectful.
She was like,
my bad.
I'm the queen.
Her. My bad. You right, Linda.
The godmother.
The
godmother has spoken.
The first guest in general, no?
No.
Or is Hazard first?
Hazard was the first one. Shout out to Hazard.
So Hazard first guest.
Since this guy wanted to get on some freaky shit.
We were talking about the Ray-Bans.
Oh.
Yeah, remember me? What happened to the Ray-Bans? There's the guy. Calm this guy down. He said, oh, yeah. That's right.
We were talking about some freaky shit.
But the Ray-Ban glasses, though.
That's some freaky shit.
That's definitely some freaky shit. We were talking about, see, people keep bringing up, like, oh, that's kind of crazy, whatever. But I'm like, honestly, your phone's listening to you 24/7.
Yeah. It's because it's tied to Meta, so that's why I think people are like, privacy issues, all that other shit.
The only thing I'm worried about is that it's a camera. That has a camera. That scares me. Like
the Ray-Bans do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can go live on your Instagram and people just be seeing your POV.
Which is fire.
That's fire.
Yeah, but yeah. All right.
That's fire.
That's cool. But
I would watch that.
Because I mean, you're still gonna have your phone if you want to do like, like.
Imagine somebody at the fashion show and they're wearing the glasses, like walking out, you're seeing shit, or they're at this crazy museum.
It's gonna be lit.
They're at some crazy museum and you see a POV like you're in there.
Or like an astronaut going to space with them.
Yeah, throwing them on. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the thought of me wearing them and like chopping it up with somebody and forgetting that I have them on and then they have a whole video of the conversation is crazy.
That's the hold up. Is I'm just like, it's weird that people are gonna be able to record like
and we're inconspicuous.
Super, yeah,
that's kind of crazy too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally, because they look like regular Ray-Bans. So like, I could go into Walmart and talk to you, and you could just divulge the craziest information. What I was saying too is, what about for students? Because like, shit, I would be using that motherfucker at school.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Oh, if I was in school right now, I'd be using ChatGPT.
They would have to check my glasses. Like, let me see your glasses.
Right.
Of like the pi times 76 raised the. Oh yeah, I got it, ma'am. Write the whole shit out.
No, what I thought was cool though was like you could be like in front of a sign that you don't know what it's saying, like you're in another country, and it'll just translate it for you.
Which that's already on your phone.
That's on your phone.
Yeah. I think the idea is
the
cool.
fact it's on your eyes and you can see it.
Yeah, I think the idea is cool, but the question is, can we even handle that? I don't know if we can handle it.
Hey, any of
that's a lot.
I'm gonna get them. We gonna see, and then you gotta check somebody because, like, let's say I have them.
Are you passing that?
Oh. No. Let's say I have them, and I'm talking to you, and now you're like, "Oh, this nigga has them." Like, who knows if he's recording me right now? Like, you kind of almost got to second guess your own people. Like,
you're gonna start giving pat downs and shit. Let me see your eye. Pat them down, get their eyeglasses, look at them.
Right. Is that what we're coming to?
Yeah.
Hey, I want the glasses though.
I still want the glasses though.
I mean, and they're pretty affordable compared to those other Apple ones.
$300. Like
I'm definitely gonna.
The shit is endless. Like you could have a HUD on there. You could be driving and that shit'll say how fast you're going, what direction on your glasses.
That's wild.
Like, that's insane.
I mean, it's getting to be more and more where like we have to do less and less to think, less and less to move.
Because really, anybody could be smart at that point.
Yeah.
You could have a conversation, be like, well, how do you do this? And all of a sudden, they're the smartest person in the world, but really, they don't know shit. You know what I'm saying?
Shit is really changing for sure in that way.
I mean, we're like not going to know what's real and what's fake.
Yeah.
Eventually. Mm-hmm. If we already don't.
I feel like you start to lose like personalities and like you don't really know like who's the smartest person. Not that that's the most important thing, but like who's the smartest person in the room? Who's the knowledgeable one? Who's the one who knows about books? Who's the one that knows about movies? Everybody just knows about everything that they want to know.
Yeah.
It's too much information.
Could be seen as that. But
I mean, I'd rather be the one
with it
than without it.
But the thing is are you really going to be the one with it? Because I feel like as there is more information, as there is more stuff like that, like only certain people are going to have certain access while other people are going to have the other access. Like I feel like it's going to end up dividing even more eventually.
Yeah.
Possibly. That's a possibility, but I think as of right now, it's just open for everybody. If you want to buy that shit $300, go grab that shit.
For now.
I mean, it's just going to be like anything else, man. Like we talked about it before on the pod. Like, eventually when you go into a doctor's office, if the person is not operating with something like that at a surgery or any type of AI in general, you're going to probably be sketched out because you're like, there's only so much information that we can obtain and keep, you know, like retention.
Yeah, like which would you rather have, the doctor with the glasses or without the glasses? He could look at your shit and that's just going to tell him exactly where to cut and shit like that.
Yeah.
I want the nigga with the glasses.
It's like even more, like there's always going to be pros and cons to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be good use cases. And then of course, like people doing some other shit, you know, but it's interesting. I think it's interesting. I mean, we're talking about like technology and shit. There's a man that made a machine that will transfer your like air into water. Clean water. You ever heard about that?
No.
It extracts the fucking water molecules out of the air.
Oh.
And it recycles it, and then it filters it, and it comes out clean water instantly.
Interesting.
And his name is Moses West. So we got to protect Moses West because like I feel like there's been a couple of like alternative energy and mostly like gas and water and stuff, and like there's been conspiracy that these people have been like essentially like offed because it
makes sense. Yeah, I would believe that.
Threatens.
Yeah, of course.
We're fucking dying off of shit.
Dr. Sebi.
You
know, there's a lot of people that came up with the different things. But yeah, for sure, protect Moses West.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out him. I fuck with that nigga. He said the first thing he wants to do is like take it to Puerto Rico, take it to like Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that's crazy. That's next level.
That is.
That's just insane.
Yeah,
and the thing, the fact that this isn't getting more press is just like, of course just like every fucking other thing is just like, why do we care that the Kardashians just bought their $1 million mansion?
We should be mass producing this shit.
Like that shit should be on every shelf right now. Like I want one.
Like
the fuck?
Biden should
put like filtered water. Like
Biden should put $100 million to get that shit everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he can't because he's putting the money elsewhere.
But yeah, I was about to
let me not though.
Ukraine is getting it. Ukraine is.
Peter will talk about that shit.
Ukraine is getting it.
Don't get me started on that.
I don't really know. I mean, no, but let's get into it. I really don't know.
This nigga's
I set myself up. I set myself up.
All right.
No, let's do it.
No, because like for real, like the money's not being dumped there. I mean, from my understanding, we might as well want to go to Ukraine because they're funding everything out there in Ukraine.
Yeah, but it's still a war zone.
That we're funding.
No, it is. But I'm just saying, like, because he's
even
making
their
the
first
point.
Responders
he's
and
making
all types of things.
He's making the point that we should go out there. But I'm
might as
like,
well just live there.
Nigga, it's still a war. Like, there's still people dying and bombs and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying we should jump up and go over there. But I will say that it is a lot of money going there. But you got to think about it too. Like now we're in such a hole. When do you get out? Like now we're in that Iraq stage where it's like, we were in Iraq for so long and then we left. And as soon as we left, within hours, they took back over. So it's like, that's basically, if we just pull out now, but we're also playing this game where we're like,
it's just,
we're agreeing to not step into the fight. but we're gonna fund the fight 100%, fund it for tanks, fund all this shit. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
She wants to say something. Go for it.
It's a lot.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, say it.
We're not just funding that though. Like we're funding like alliances as well, because the whole thing was, I'm not pro Putin. I'm not pro Ukraine. I like, yeah, neither. But to say that we didn't have like a big, like we're like the reason that this is even happening. Like Ukraine's government is American government. We went in there, we took it over. And we fucking like put our own shit in there, right? And Putin said, hey, if you keep expanding, I'm going to fuck shit up. And I'm not saying Putin was right for saying that or doing that, but he's been saying, hey, NATO, if you keep expanding, I'm going to fuck shit up. And what did we do? We kept expanding. And then what did Putin do? He fucked shit up. So to me, it's like, it's funding. It goes so much deeper, and this is not something people like think that this happened like overnight. This is something that has been building up for years and years and years and years. And
we for sure made a deal with them. We made a deal that we would not like travel any farther east with NATO. Yeah. And so by bringing in Ukraine, like that was their specific one rule was like, do not fuck with any of this. And they already had a battle going on with Ukraine for hundreds of years of like whose land that is and shit.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation in that note too, because it's like, it's so many intricacies to it. Cause it's like, it's a tough situation because it's like, you've already put your hand on this and now they're getting attacked. Are you just going to let that shit slide? Do you just step back and watch it? At the same time, there's plenty arguments of look at all these other misjudgments in the world that are going on that we don't give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
also that, because we freak out when this happened, but like, we have been funding Israel to attack Palestine for fucking years, but no one gives a fuck about the Palestinians. So
I'm trying to figure out what's the I'm like, okay, well, what's the reason, right? Like on some Cardi B shit.
What's the reason?
Is it to keep like all the dogs fighting while you doing all this mischief or some shit? You feel me? Like you keep funding these wars so the heat's off of you, and have you
seen the different companies that profit off of this war?
No.
So basically there's a lot of companies that profit off of war and then in turn help like the American economy.
For sure.
Like
that's our biggest economy.
Yeah, booster. It is.
That's how we've been. That's why it's clearly it's a good business to be in, right?
Yeah.
To keep people fighting because you're getting money from it, right? Like these bigger corporations. You have all these like.
It's just a bunch of poor. It's a bunch of poor people fighting a bunch of rich people's war. Basically,
sure.
Yeah,
is what it is.
It's almost like America. It could be like we're just trying to agitate.
But I'm like, why are we like, hey, go fuck them up?
So it's either,
you know what I'm saying?
So like,
is it to keep the heat off?
Well,
of us?
we're
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's either I think it's either to agitate or it's to just because we've already like put our hand over everything. Yeah, it's like. We just want to continue to just put our hand over
It's that. We're the number one most imperialistic power in the world. We have capitalism functioning at its highest stage. Like,
right now it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and we are the highest form of it because we are the most like powerful country in the world. So we literally run everything. And so there has to be all these wars going on too to show like dominance and power because the Western Hemisphere is like running shit right now, right? Mm-hmm. Eventually that shit's gonna shift. So
for sure.
But we're in for it at some point.
Yeah, hell yeah.
At some point we're in for it.
We talked about it earlier of just like how most people like in history, it's like once you get a little bit of power, you continue to want more and want more and want more. And when it comes to like, you know, these other countries, it's like it's gonna be hard to find a fix like that just because it doesn't matter whether you're communist, it doesn't matter if you're in a democracy. Doesn't matter. Everybody has some kind of like power that be, whether it be a dictator or whether it be a group or whether it be whoever's running the shit for money or what it is. Everybody has a group
there's always that fight for that power.
That's crooked and is running the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not in any country or government for the people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I haven't seen one yet.
Yeah, well, like in any different.
Yeah, I haven't seen
ever.
I haven't seen a perfect one yet.
It's I mean, you know and it's like it can never be perfect, right? There's like, but at the same time, like when you have like this is where we were talking about it off camera a little bit. Like since I was growing up, I've always heard that we're like in this crazy deficit. Like we owe so much money to China in particular.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of countries.
And
Everybody
but then
pretty much.
we're like handing out our money elsewhere. So like I feel like it's just like I don't know. It's a fear. It's like to keep us like on this fear mentality or shit. I don't know.
I think it's like you said, like they fucking budget the same way niggas do. It's like
That's what I'm saying.
You know
like,
what I'm saying? I think that's what it is, and it's like more about
steal from Peter to pay Paul.
More money in, and I'm not worried about the money out. You feel me? Because in the end, in 4 to 6 years, I'm not gonna be
big Ponzi
in this
scheme.
position anymore to where
Big
it's my
Ponzi
fault.
scheme.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why does the president really care if in 4 years he's gonna be gone? Like now it's not on him, and now somebody else. He lives his life, and with whatever money he made, lobbied.
Sleepy Joe.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. So it's just a lot of
crazy.
intricacies,
It's
yeah,
crazy. It's
when
crazy.
it comes
crazy.
to government. We
All
usually
right,
stay off.
All right, we're gonna get off of politics and all that.
This nigga went to all trash politics. I like.
No, because the conversation went.
No, it did. It
towards
did
that.
though.
So
It did
like
though.
perfect for it.
It did though.
But look, okay, so this is something that has been fucking the biggest story in hip hop since it happened, right? Tupac's murder.
Oh shit! I saw that. Okay, I'm excited to talk about this.
From what it seems like is that they arrested a man, Keefe D,
Mm-hmm.
in connection with Tupac's murder. They're charging him with murder, though. They're saying he was a shot caller, bro. They're saying he called.
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah, like he called out on the hit. He was in the car. He talked about this
It was,
shit too.
he said it was his nephew. He wrote a book about it.
It was
Said
Orlando. Like he said it was Orlando, the one that got jumped in the hotel.
Yeah, which was his nephew, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He said it was his nephew who died. He did a bunch of interviews. He wrote a book about the shit. Just recently he's been like on a whole press run talking about the shit again because he like released a book. And
Talk his way to jail.
all of a sudden
real,
when that
yeah.
happened, they just kicked his door in. They were trying to say they found a bullet, but like who keeps a bullet after 20, 30 years and shit? Like
Supposedly, I heard there's like in California, there's this like after so many years, you could kind of like essentially get away with it.
statute of limitations?
Something
Yeah,
like that?
but there's no statute of limitations on murder.
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
No,
But,
that's-
I don't think. Yeah, I think you're right.
The statute of limitations is usually 7 years, but when it comes to murder, there's no.
Okay.
There's no.
I mean, that's what I was
statute.
thinking. I was like, that sounds crazy because if anything, Las Vegas was like, well, that ain't here. You know, that's California. So
Maybe they just couldn't prove that he had anything to do with it, and then now that they finally got some kind of evidence that he called
I was about to
it.
say, I don't know how much evidence they have,
Yeah,
but
because it had to have been in the
openly
moment.
confessed saying that he was in the car.
Yeah.
So that makes him accessory
Oh,
to
I was
murder.
going to say that's enough right there. If he's open, he said it himself.
Well, yeah, he said he
Yeah,
had
he
a
said
book.
it.
He
He
has it
said
in
it
a book
in
and he has it in
multiple
interviews.
Oh, okay.
A book and
It's the
interviews.
internet age, man. Everybody's just telling on themselves.
Yeah,
but
right.
It's crazy.
I think that he didn't realize that he was like telling. He thought that he was just like, I mean, he's an idiot regardless, but he thought he was
Yeah,
just
fucking
telling on
stupid.
his dead nephew, but that he had no, like, how could they prove that he had any hand in it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's in the moment. Like, they fought, they followed them, he shot. Like, it's not like something happened over the phone, they got a recording or some shit like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But,
Crazy, but you know, that's a crazy break. I never thought I would see it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I definitely was on the fence of like, hey, Tupac might still be alive.
Really?
Like not now, not nowadays, but like when I was a kid, for
Okay,
sure.
okay,
Like
okay.
No, for sure. A lot of people fell
for
into
sure.
that.
Tupac was still alive. He was in Cuba somewhere smoking cigars and smacking bitches' asses.
A lot of people felt like that. I'm not gonna lie. It was a hood rumor, for sure.
But like,
remember
it's then
the
you like
rumor.
look at all the conspiracies and shit, like, and then him being like the whole Machiavelli, like Machiavelli. The story is that he faked his death,
Right.
right? So, like, he would kind of follow through that same path. I don't know.
I remember the rumor. I never believed it.
No, I definitely was one of those like I'm like,
You wanted to believe it.
yeah, I
though.
want to believe that shit. You know what I mean? I would say that Tupac was probably like my introduction into like hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I was really bumping hip hop too much, and then my cousin came around and it was like, yeah, Pac. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Greatest hits album. You know,
Classic.
Dear Mama.
Class.
That was probably the first one. You know, for me.
Kenzie's actually a rapper for the people who don't know out there.
Shut the fuck up. That is not
She's
true.
a rapper, singer,
K-Dog. K-Dog.
big K Dog in the house.
You wish.
But yeah, man, that's gonna be some crazy shit. We're gonna see in the next probably year or so, like some type of trial happen.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Super crazy.
Now we got to see what happens with Biggie.
Nothing. That was a whole crazy situation. That's a crazy one for sure.
Yeah, but shout out to that. That's insane. I never thought I'd see the day. What else we got on here?
What else you got for me?
I mean, sports fans in here, right? Damian Lillard.
Oh yeah,
Damian Lillard.
Lillard
Going to Bucks. Is it too late for him?
Is it too late for him to win the ring?
Yeah.
No, it's not too late. It's not too late. They could pick up one more person too, and it's looking real nice.
You follow basketball at all?
No, I'm gonna be straight up. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so shitty.
Well, the Bucks were already really good. They have one of the best players in the league, in Antetokounmpo.
Yeah,
it's a huge fucking African dude.
Yeah,
and he's
fucking.
He could dribble the ball. He's like 7 feet, but he could dribble. He could shoot. He's good. Like he's a fucking baller.
That's a great asset. I mean, that's a great pickup for them though. Like to get Dame.
No, for sure. That's gonna be crazy.
Because like now the outside is kind of he can shoot from the outside.
No, for sure.
But I was gonna say like with you, like you're like when I asked the question, I was like, let me look up his stats. So let me see what he was shooting last year.
What was he shooting?
32 points per game averaged. So he's still in like his prime. You know what I mean?
No, for sure, for sure. Did you see the Colin Kaepernick note?
Yeah.
To the Jets?
That was the next thing.
You seen that?
Sports,
it was J. Cole, I think, that wrote the note. That's what happened.
Was it J. Cole? Because I seen Jay post it, and he asked if he could post it.
Okay, maybe it was Colin Kaepernick. But either way.
This might get a little bit more political.
Another political topic.
What the note say?
Political. Just basically saying because they had Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers' first season out of Green Bay.
It was supposed to be hype. It was so much hype behind it.
One of the greatest quarterbacks.
You follow football at all?
A little bit. Okay. A little bit more than basketball, for sure.
One of the greatest quarterbacks. He went to the Jets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hype around it. First game, fucks up his leg.
I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, so he ends up fucking up his leg. So Colin Kaepernick wrote a note to the Jets just saying like, hey, I'm willing and ready to play.
Oh.
You know
it's been said that this man has been, since he's been essentially blacklisted out of the league, he has been grinding every day. Like if he's still
that's what I was curious about. I was like, I wonder, has he really been practicing? It's been like 7 years.
That has to be the craziest.
7 years.
That has to be a crazy
every
commitment.
week for 7 years, knowing he's not going to play.
That's
insane.
crazy, yeah.
But you know the whole situation.
That's love, though, like for the sport.
For the sport, for sure.
Yeah.
But you know the whole situation with Colin Kaepernick, right?
A little bit, but you should tell me.
Basically, he was on the Niners. Supposedly, there was some like racist stuff going on. He was
like
taking,
a lot of cop.
That's exactly what happened. It was a lot of police shootings.
Yeah,
and so he in protest was kneeling
right
during the national anthem.
That's the
that's what.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. Is there any more to it?
Well, he then sued the like owners of the NFL because he was able to prove that they were purposely blackballing him from the league.
Oh, okay.
So he won like. Well, they didn't release the number, but it was 10 million plus apparently.
The fact that he has not picked up a football for that gesture, for one, it goes against freedom of speech and protest, right? And two, it really does highlight some type of crazy outlook on these owners and the way they see their people, and in particular, black men, because I mean, let's break it. Like, come on, the league is probably like 80% black men. Like, I don't know the percentage, but
no, for sure. And when you look at it, they look at them like, and it's the best way to look at it at a scientific level. But at the same time, when you really look at it deep down, like they're looking at them like stock. Like you get you go to the combine, it's like, how fast can this nigga run?
For sure.
How strong is this nigga? How high can he jump?
You know what I'm saying?
Like we're looking for the best nigga we can find out here.
I tell you, when I go to orphanage, that's what I'm gonna
do. This nigga's same shit. Have your own combine.
I'm about combine back there.
Run laps.
I'm Kenzie over there like training them too.
I'm fucking dead.
See if they can last.
How much do you do on trunk lift, motherfucker? Let's go
for sure. But and the real crazy
squat me.
The real
if they
crazy,
can squat you, I'll take them.
That'd be crazy. He's gonna get the 7 foot 12-year-old and shit. That's crazy.
Not the 7 foot 12-year-old.
No, for sure.
Straight from fucking yeah.
You know what's even crazier about the shit too is that like now fast forward 3 to 4 years later, and you have the Black Lives Matter movement,
and the NFL's over here eating it up.
The NFL's eating it up, getting paid for it.
Of course they are, because it's trending.
Exactly, but that's
money.
And that's what's fucked up is that
money. Think
all
about
these people,
the advertisement and shit.
And that's kind of fucked up for Colin too when it comes to these other athletes, because like none of them, there was only 1 or 2 that was trying to back him up. None of the big ones, like LeBron wasn't backing him up.
Yeah, honestly,
Steph Curry wasn't backing
him
up. Like they should have came out in like
the reason shit happens is because nobody fucking stands up.
Nobody backed him up, and that nigga was alone,
bro. Like
there was 2 like low level players that like did it.
but none of the A-list
like
superstars were
where's
right there.
LeBron?
Are y'all
Where's
surprised though about that?
Because
Like, does
some
that
of them-
actually surprise
because
you?
it goes from
For real?
like
Some of them I think are good people. Some of them are good people. So I am surprised, but I also think that some of them are in a position of being scared where it's like,
they don't want to fuck themselves up.
You see this nigga getting fired.
Yeah.
You don't know what's next.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't know if like they're gonna not fire you, but you're dealing with billionaires. Like these niggas could like smut your name, get some photos of you with your maid. Fucking who fucking knows?
Done. No, I get it. I get it.
It's a tough situation,
but it's challenging.
But it's fucked up for Colin.
It's fucked up for Colin. But like
his whole team should have kneeled
at the same time.
Next game.
Yeah. At the same time, do you think that like if you're in that position, like are you gonna even want to go back into let's say that room? Like you want to go back into the NFL and play with these guys?
That's what a lot of people's argument was.
You know what I mean? It's almost like fuck you then too.
But you also like where does everyone come from? Like I don't know any of these players' backgrounds, but at the same time, like is it really fucked up for them not to kneel if they're scared of losing that shit and having to go back to wherever
for sure.
they came from? Not saying, I don't know anyone's situations, but I'm just saying like some people
don't want to fuck themselves up.
Really
some people
grinding.
I feel like don't have a choice.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
To kneel.
100%.
I mean, I guess you always have a choice, but you know what I mean.
If we all do
I think it comes down to that.
They ain't gonna fire the whole team.
Hey, Ant said it for us, bro.
You're right
Ant
about
said
that.
It for us.
You know
That movie Ant, they gave it to us.
What is it?
If one ant stands up to us,
for sure.
You feel me? Like if they all stand up to us,
yeah.
It's
yeah.
over.
If it would have been all the top players in the league, there's no way.
They're not gonna fucking let them all go.
Yeah,
yeah. No, they should have.
Then you know how bad you're gonna look at that point too, because
for sure.
Like it's like now it's obvious. You made it obvious as fuck now.
Well, that requires a lot of organization though, to because then literally everyone has to do it because. If they don't, then you're fucked. You know, exactly. It's exactly like a union or going on strike or anything else.
I know, but I'm just saying, like the fact that even the union. Where was the union?
Yeah, where the fuck was the union at?
I'm in the fucking NFL union. What was going on?
That's crazy, huh?
Most unions are not even that fucking.
No, for sure. Honestly, they
just taking
money. Exactly.
Everything's money, bro.
It is.
Everything's money, dog. It's just crazy. All right, let's get on some freaky shit.
All right.
You guys ever been into role playing and shit?
Role playing?
That's not for me.
I've never been into it, but
this nigga came in like a fireman one day, shirtless with a hard
man. Where's the fire?
Oh my god!
I'm here to put out your
I'm
fire,
here to
baby.
put out the fire. I've never been completely, but I'm not gonna lie. I've thought about it for sure. That'd be cool.
What would you come in as, man?
Not me. I don't specifically have to come in as anything. Her come in as something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's probably where I'm at with it.
Okay.
You know, I've done maybe hairstyles. You know, do a little
put a wig on. Put a wig on.
A little hairstyle.
You put a wig on.
I'm saying I'm just saying rock your hair a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
Take it back to the 50s.
That's not role playing.
It's not role playing, but in my brain it is. You know what I'm saying? It puts me. Don't worry about it, man.
No, I never done it. I never done it. Never been in. I never really been into it.
Yeah.
But
same. No shame. You like what you like, but that's not for me.
No, for sure.
But you got to get full on in it though. I think because it's not necessarily only about dressing up as something. It's fully. Now you're acting.
See, and I think I would just start cracking up.
Yeah, for sure.
I would just be cracking up.
Comes in looking like Harry Potter and shit.
I'll come in like Hagrid.
Hermione.
It's over. I'm cracking up. No way.
This nigga calls you Hermione. It's a wrap, huh? This nigga's dropping everything.
You're stupid, bro. Oh, shit. Hey, speaking of Harry Potter, R.I.P. to Dumbledore, man.
Yeah, for sure.
He passed
away. I thought he had died before. I'm not going to lie. No, it was no.
You killed off Dumbledore?
Because you know who it really was that had died? The nigga from Lord of the Rings.
That's the white dude.
I thought he died a couple years ago, and they had to use his brother.
Is that Dumbledore? The same person?
No, those are different people.
Those are different, right?
Nigga, I think
okay,
so.
but Dumbledore passed away.
Yeah,
he was 80 or something like that.
R.I.P.
Wow.
It's a long life.
That is
R.I.P. I was watching Harry Potter earlier.
Yeah,
classic. I haven't watched that shit in a minute.
You ever been on the Harry Potter
ride? I went on one, but not the other one. I can't remember. The one to the right. I can't remember which one that shit was. The other one was too popping. Because there's two, right?
No, I don't know. I mean, I can't. I'm not big enough to go on that. I'm not small enough to go on that.
You know what? I'm gonna say I don't even think you're not big enough to get on. Nah, I know you lied. Nigga. They want to see the line on the wall. They're like, hold on, move, nigga, to the left. Goddamn.
Oh yeah.
No, sure.
There was a couple things I couldn't go on over there.
Have you gone to the Horror Nights?
No, but I've heard not good things about it this year. So we were planning to go, and we literally like got our tickets refunded, and we got Knott's Berry Farm.
All right, that was good.
Yeah, me too. I've heard it was fun.
Yeah,
I've heard it's just a lot of waiting. No, I've never been.
Nice. I want to go to the Queen Mary. That shit was fun.
Where's that?
Where is that shit at? Is it in Long Beach?
Yeah, Long Beach.
Okay.
I've never been there.
Yeah.
Art is a good vibe too.
But you heard about the Queen Mary, right?
It's Halloween too, right?
Yeah, but it's like a haunted boat. It's supposedly a haunted boat. Even like
it's a boat.
Yeah, like they have it all through the year. It's a historic boat. It's just docked there.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
you can like walk through and supposedly haunted.
Is it like one of those things where like there's scare actors, or it's like a...
So during Halloween there's scare actors.
Oh, okay.
But it's haunted technically. Like they'll walk you through and tell you how it's supposedly haunted and the stories and shit all through the year. But during Halloween they have like a horror nights type shit.
That sounds cool.
You ever seen any paranormal thing or experienced any paranormal craziness?
I've had one weird situation for sure. I don't know if it was paranormal, but everyone that was there kind of all agreed that it was like weird, and it's something that I definitely will always remember, but I don't know if I necessarily believe it was like paranormal. Does that make sense?
Well, please tell us.
Okay. So I was in high school. It was me and two of my friends. We were in a cemetery after it was closed, just on some stupid high school kid shit. And we were all like fucking with each other, like boo, laughing, whatever. But then all of a sudden it was fall time. So there were leaves on the ground in Kentucky, and we heard like the crunch of like a leaf being like stepped on like in the distance, and we all three just like stopped laughing and looked at each other. We were like, you just kind of like, okay, that was like a little weird. Yeah, it was like a little weird. And then we all looked in the like general vicinity that it was, and something just like made us book it to the car. Like I can't even explain it. Like it was just like a really shitty feeling, and we were all three. We didn't say a word, but we all three were like, we got to get the fuck out of here. So we go to the car, and the first time she turns the key over, it's like literally like in a fucking movie.
Scary movie.
And we were like, what the fuck? And then she turned it all the way, and it turned on, and we drove off. No, for real. We were like, we were freaked out for sure.
Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, and then later on we had a conversation about it, and we all saw like just like a weird like shadow, but like that's pretty much it. Like, so I don't know if it was just like we got freaked out or what, but we all it was definitely a weird thing
a at that point. Like,
yeah, but it was just weird how we all felt that way, and we all saw like a shadow of like a person, but like that's it. We didn't see like an actual person. I don't know. It was just weird. I don't know if it's paranormal or not, but I definitely will always remember it and remember how I just like felt the energy shift. You know, it was like
the one I hate is like when you're like in the room and shit, and like you see like a figure. And then it's like, it might be like a lamp or some shit.
Yeah.
But the first thing you're like, oh, what the fuck?
For sure. Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
Terrible.
No, actually, that's scary. That's scary to think about.
Crazy.
Though.
Everybody had that for sure. I've had it a couple times in my life.
Is it crazy? You ever? But
mostly when I was younger.
But you ever see anything or hear anything?
No, I didn't see anything.
And I've heard and seen things.
It's like when you're like awake but can't move, right? Yeah. Basically, okay.
That shit is insane. That shit is honestly one of the scariest things ever. But a lot of people in past times, they always thought it was like demons or some shit. Like there's old rumors that it's a demon sitting on your chest or shit like that.
Yeah.
But scientifically, they figured out it's just sleep paralysis, and like basically your body's still asleep, but
your brain is
like active and shit. So, but that shit was crazy. Like I remember that shit happened to me. The one I remember the most is when I was like, I had to been like 10 or some shit, maybe like between 8 and 10, and like. I don't know why we had a room, but for some reason, I had my bed and my mom and my stepdad had their bed in the living room and but like across the room and shit. So I was sleeping, I woke up and I couldn't move, but like trying to get yourself to move was like damn near painful.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just like you're trying so hard and it's just like literally hurting you, like fuck. Mm-hmm. And then you're like looking over at your eyes and you're just trying to scream, but you can't.
That's
and you're
crazy.
screaming.
And you're screaming like in your head.
You're screaming.
Fucking, but like nothing's coming out. And you're just.
But then you're relieved that you don't scream because then you're like, how do I even explain what just happened?
And then it just lifts. The scariest part is going back to sleep. Like
Yeah.
And never getting a chance to fucking like fully move. Like you literally just have to say fuck it and go back to sleep type shit. You're like, that shit is scary.
I've had one where like I felt like I fucking seen like a figure go like that over my head.
That would freak me the fuck out.
And like it wasn't just when it was like this, and then it was like this, and I was like, what the fuck? And I've heard voice too.
That's
like,
weird.
The voice
that would weird me out.
It was like hard to hear. It was just more like.
That's crazy. This nigga is this demon. This nigga is fucking Lil Nicky.
That would have me
Remember
so fucked
that nigga's
up.
just sleeping.
The name of
That's Little Nicky. That's crazy.
I've had a dream that I'm like falling, and then I like wake up when I hit the ground in my dream. It like jolts me awake. I've had like those.
You ever had a dream where like you can jump and like you just could like damn near fly? That should be crazy.
I think I've had flying dreams.
What about the one where you're like you have to like punch somebody but it's not working?
What?
You ever had that?
No.
You're like punching them, but it's just like not. They don't feel it and shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like it's just like no matter how like you're trying to stop something from happening or like do some shit, and no matter how hard you hit them and shit, it just doesn't.
I never had that.
Do you guys dream in like first person, like where you see your point of view, or do you see yourself?
First person.
Okay.
First person.
But I've definitely had like one of those lucid dreams where like you're dreaming, and like I literally like looked around and like, oh, I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
Oh, you lucid dream? You could like walk around and like decide what you want and shit. Can you guys do that?
So
I don't know how to
do that, but I definitely was like, oh, this is a dream.
Yeah.
You knew you were dreaming, yeah.
Fine. But that happens rarely.
That's even weird.
But they say when you do that like if you practice that and you keep doing it, then you're then able to like act out in your dreams and shit.
That's insane. That reminds me of like some like Game of Thrones. What's the little kid that could fucking like he can go through a raven and shit?
Oh yeah. You're just like in another dimension type shit.
Yeah.
That's insane. Quantum jumping and all that. You ever like looked at that stuff? Like quantum jumping?
I'm not sure. I've looked at
Yes.
a lot of like.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Essentially tapping into like different dimensions of yourself.
But like how?
Have you ever seen like
through meditation? I guess
I've seen those. I've seen the people meditate, and then I seen the one. Remember the FBI one?
Who?
The FBI one.
No.
So they fucking they released like last year. They had to release a bunch of FBI files, and they had a file where they were basically working with this man, and they were trying to basically figure out like mind control and like teleportation and shit and meditation. So they put a whole and like you could see the files online, and they put this whole case study together, and they found that like when you they paid basically a certain frequency in one ear, another frequency in another ear, and then like they play certain sounds, and then like with the correct focus you could teleport. And they were doing shit where not like physically, but like they were doing tests where like he would guess a number that was on the table or like guess some shit like that, and like 75% of the time, like with certain people, they were better at it. And they said like 75% of the time he was right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they have it. Like you can actually find it online. It's the released copy because like they actually were working on it. And the fact that the FBI is working on it says something to it that is
has to be something.
Got to be like they wouldn't be spending like wasting their time looking into unless they really.
I was gonna say spending money. Yeah, we spend.
Oh, spending money. Yeah, that's why I stopped.
Stupid shit all the time.
But
that just
all the time.
But they wanted it. They wanted it to utilize it. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. That's crazy. One of the there was an experiment that happened back in the 70s. I want to say it was a college that did this experiment where they had the students act as prisoners and like
then
COs.
You
ever seen that?
Wait, college experiment where they had the prisoners act.
No. They had like the students.
They made it into a prison.
Scared straight.
Pretty much, but
kinda, except for they had like some of them be this like guards,
yeah,
and then some of them be the prisoners, and so it was like kind of like a study on like the power and like what they would do in positions of power.
It ended up being a really crazy experiment,
like fucking nuts.
What is that called?
Fuck, I don't know. We have the phone in our hand.
Yeah,
that's fire. I'll watch that shit. How long ago was this? Did you see this?
Back in the 70s, I want to say.
Oh, so it's old. Dang, that's fire.
Stanford prison. Yeah.
70s?
Yeah, back in 1971.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna watch it, but I kind of want to see it.
It's interesting. I mean,
it's
interesting. Like they like literally like they pretty much like started fucking with the people started going insane damn near. You know what I mean?
Like with power and shit. Like how long were they there? What the fuck?
I don't know the whole.
But I'm just like, damn, how long does it take you to go insane? Like,
but we're just talking about that. Like,
yeah. But I'm like, you don't put me in for 8 hours, and I'm fucking all of a sudden whipping people and fucking making them eat fucking bologna.
It was a 2-week simulation.
2 weeks, okay. Because after about a week,
that's still not that long though. What the fuck?
Not.
Why did I expect it to be like 2 months? Like I remember, like hearing about this, reading about it, but I didn't realize it was that short. Yeah.
But in a short period of time, it just like it altered people.
That and groupthink. You know, one person can really get into it, and then that makes another, which makes another. You know,
that's true.
That's how it works.
That's true.
I don't think it would be the same thing if it was like a one-on-one experiment. Like there was multiple people.
Like I got you, you got me. Let's keep it cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. But once other people get mixed in, it gets real tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Any other crazy experiments you guys heard about?
I mean, MK Ultra, of course.
What was that again?
The one where they give LSD to fucking what's his name? Damn, what's that nigga's name? The nigga that killed the people in the Hollywood Hills. The one they made the movie about. Once upon a time.
Charles Manson.
Charles Manson.
Oh,
you know that one, right?
No,
you know that one.
No.
So
is there a documentary on it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So
where? I want to watch that.
Look it up. There's information everywhere on this one. So he's MK Ultra. That's what it's called. So they found
the mind control thing.
Yeah. So basically, they found out that he was doing like I don't know if you call it a case study or experiment. Like basically, they were giving him LSD, and they were looking at like the effects of like mind control using LSD, and they were running tests on him and shit. And if you think about it, like his main thing is he was gaining followers who they were all doing drugs and basically following everything he said like he was a fucking god, and they ended up murdering people. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the fact that the government was giving him drugs...
He was actually like under an experiment at the time? Is that they were basically saying that he had been involved in...
He was directly involved in that. He was in that case study with the government giving him drugs, and he just so happened to also be a leader of a murderous cult.
That's wild.
Insane.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That's crazy. You guys never heard of that shit.
We're all laughing at
murder. We're laughing like that's crazy.
Why do we find such entertainment though? Isn't it kind of okay? So are you crazy if you like watching all that shit like Forensic Files and all that other shit, like, or like Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, the TV show? Like, is there something wrong with you? Like, is there something wrong mentally?
I mean, it can't. What do you think, Kenz?
What do you think, Kenz?
God damn it.
Kenz, I think Kenz is the like she's
the voice of the people.
She's the voice of the people. Yeah.
Y'all are funny.
Big Kenz.
I don't think there's necessarily something wrong with you, but I think it's interesting that we do
find it entertainment.
Yeah.
I love. I think
it's weird.
Things. Unsolved mysteries, all that shit. Okay, so in the same context though, like playing Grand Theft Auto, like if you go on a straight murderous rampage, running over people, like if that's all you do on that game,
there's something wrong with you.
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's crazy. If you go and you just find the lady and want to just shoot her in the head,
you just want to go on rampage.
I've seen people literally see somebody on the floor and they're just like.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like intrusive thoughts are like normal, right? Like, do y'all not like, you're not driving and then you see someone, you're like 10 points, but then like not for real, you know? You wouldn't ever actually do that, but like intrusive thoughts are a real thing.
Still funny.
Yes, definitely. Wait, what was your first question
though?
Just is there something wrong with you?
Yeah, if there's like with like watching like
crime
shows.
I don't think there's something wrong with you per se. But it is interesting, and I think that people like you want to learn.
I'm like in therapy right now.
Like it's almost like you get an excitement from learning about different people's lives, and like even if you know absolutely that it's wrong, you just want to know like what brings a person to do this. Like I could watch an interview with fucking Jeffrey Dahmer, and it's like I know that it's wrong, but I'm really curious as to like. what
Why?
type of person? Yeah, and why and what type of would I be able to
identify?
If I just seen this person and we talked in Walmart for 5 minutes, would I be able to tell, or like,
right?
Do they give off some kind of vibe? Like you're just curious.
That's the thing that's crazy about it is normally the people that do that kind of thing. I mean, there's someone's neighbor, there's someone's like cousin, there's someone, like, and I think that's what's crazy about it. To me, I like learning about the like actual psychology, like, because normally the people that do that shit, they have some sort of like mental illness as well as like a shitty environment that they grew up in, and it's normally a combination. But I like knowing like what got this person to that point. Like at what point did they start?
One of the craziest recent cases that I came across that I was like infatuated with in a sense was the Chris Watts case.
Which one was that?
Where he murdered his wife and 2 daughters.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Put them in an oil.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
In Colorado or something like that.
Yeah.
To me, that was one of the most like. It was like interest, like it was like so fascinating because it's like, what the fuck? Like, how did
this get to there?
Yeah.
And what was the reasoning?
He wanted to kill his family off and start a whole nother life with another girl.
Weird ass nigga, bro.
No, the insane thing about that though, when you're watching, there's a clip when you're watching like this.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
When you're watching the
police cam when they're
is it police cam? Yeah, it is a police cam. On the TV, there's like almost like a commercial. It's a commercial for I think American Horror Stories or something, and it's a skull coming out of oil. And that's exactly how his kids. Yeah. And it's like he's talking in front of this.
It's when the police come and they're talking to him in front of the TV, and that's just on the TV. That's
crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And just like, I mean, is that the law of like coincidences, or like is the commercials just running? Who fucking knows? But it's
weird.
Crazy for it to line up just like that in that moment.
Insane.
Honestly,
so that was a crazy story. Like I said, but like all these stories, you like there is a fascination. There's an entertainment aspect to it. We just the whole Murdoch
murders.
That shit was crazy.
You saw that?
Yeah.
You watched that? We can talk about that.
Yeah.
I think I only watched the first episode though, because isn't there?
You said about spoiling. You spoiled the first one last time.
Nah,
you said the whole story.
Season.
How many episodes are in the season?
3, I think, in each.
3 in this, yeah.
Okay, then maybe I'm on season 2. Because didn't the season 2 just come out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're not finished watching it?
No, I'm not finished yet.
I mean, season 2 is not really like it was good too, but it was more just like
it's the trial.
It's the trial, but like the main part was everything that went down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't think she got too
season
far.
2. You just basically finding out whether he did it or not. Yeah, basically. Season 1 though was crazy.
I want to watch.
You could see how, but you could see how like
the ending was crazy.
You could see how that family like felt like they were just untouchable, right? Like just generations upon generations of them running the whole legal system, bro. Yeah. Like they're the law. Like when the mother says, "I'm the law," that motherfucker felt like he was that person.
Yeah.
Imagine being the son and being born into that,
right?
And being able to drink at the age of like 11, 12. And just fucking
no consequences.
No consequences. You want to go out and ride your fucking boat and get drinks with a bunch of girls and then go shoot some hogs and come back. Like nobody's watching you. No one
gives
living
a fuck.
It up.
Yeah.
Do what you do. Just make sure you don't fuck up.
That's why, for me, like I'm kind of glad I wasn't born into something like that.
Yeah.
Because I'd be spitting on people and fucking like not giving a fuck, right?
You kind of see how it could be that easy to become that type of person if you're born into that.
Most definitely.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But I don't think like why did he do it? What is the motive? They never really gave a motive.
The dad or
the dad? Like,
well, yeah, the dad. Honestly, I think.
What was your like? Because we're not spoiling. I don't.
Yeah,
think.
we're not spoiling.
Okay,
they didn't give a motive.
We're not spoiling it. But
what is your take on why they like?
I think that the best guess is that.
Oh wait, they do actually kind of give a motive of why he would do it. I think they do because of like what he was involved in.
Okay, so what I was gonna say is I'm not gonna.
Okay, don't dive that deep.
No, what I'm saying is best guess of what I think, because I don't even know if that's the motive. So I'm just gonna say best guess of what I think is that he was just causing too many problems because he had his own shit going on. If you watch the first season, the dad had
the kid was causing too many.
No, yeah, the kid was causing too much problem.
Mom was just there.
The kid
wrong time.
Yeah, so. I feel like the kid was causing too much problems, and the dad, like they talk about in the first season.
That's kind of crazy.
In the first season, he's like laundering money and shit. Like that's what they keep bringing up. So maybe it's just like, bro, you're bringing too much heat on me, and you're not stopping. And they bring up another situation in the second season that the kid does. So like, maybe he's just frustrated.
Damn,
that's crazy.
That is a crazy thing where he's like, it's almost like a mob boss doing a hit. You're causing too much static, homie.
But
even though you're my fucking son, bah. There's gonna be there's movies and all types of shit coming.
I feel like you should have I would have just sent him away though. Like instead of killing him, I'd be like, nigga, you gotta go.
Yeah, that's you though. This is this man that.
No, for sure.
This egotistical, narcissistic.
Yeah, this is crazy ass,
crazy
motherfucker.
Psychotic.
Yeah,
bitch.
So look, bro, how about this? I'll give you $5,000 a month. You go live off. You're not gonna have guns or anything like that. Just live your life and be good.
He's like, fuck you, daddy.
Fuck you, daddy. This is my place.
You don't get the strap.
Me and Bobby out here shooting the hogs to mine. You want to take my boat from me, daddy?
Let me go get the 22
rifle.
Fuck
the RP. Hold on. Time. I forgot. He's the RP.
But the kid was kind of shitty.
He was, but he didn't deserve to die, though.
No, didn't deserve to die. I don't wish death upon nobody, but I mean, like, bro, it's comedy still. Like.
No, yeah, it's comedy. We're talking about the accent. We're talking about the accent. We're just saying hypothetically what would happen. But hypothetically, how he would have felt.
R.I.P.
That's funny. R.I.P. him for sure. R.I.P. The girlfriend, the mom, the girlfriend.
It's a crazy story though.
It's fucking crazy.
Hey, but these small towns be having the craziest, most captivating stories.
She knows she's from one.
What do you think though?
You know any crazy stories from out there?
I mean, I guess a few. My dad was a cop, so he was a homicide detective at one point. So that was
crazy shit.
Yeah,
and you live in a small town, right?
Small town.
What's the
population? I don't know. But is that bad?
No, I'm just asking what the general.
I have no clue. I honestly have no idea.
That's not bad. I mean, I don't know the population.
Where are you from?
Paducah, Kentucky.
Paducah. Like I don't know the population of fucking LA. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like I don't. Yeah, I just
thought maybe.
But yeah, small town. Also depending on where you live, because there's the quote city part of it.
26,278.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
2021.
Yeah. That was in 2021? Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I was just wondering, like, it's probably in such a small, like, area, there's probably some crazy stuff going on for sure.
Yeah.
Or murders aren't as prominent out here.
He was a homicide detective, so you've seen a lot of murder. Like, there's, like, a lot of murder going on over there?
One point in time, yeah, Paducah had a lot of, like, higher crime. This was more in, like, the 80s, though, he says. But there was a lot of violent crime going on, a lot of, like, drug-related, murders and stuff, but I think, and I could have this wrong, but I think it was like number 2 to Louisville as far as like violent crime per like,
and that's a bigger
capita. Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, but that was in the 80s though. It's not. I feel like it's not the same probably anymore. But yeah, he was a homicide detective. He was on SWAT. Like did all of that.
You hear any crazy cases?
What's one of the worst? Like, has he ever shared like one of his worst cases?
He'll share some cases sometimes. Honestly, they're all brutal in their own way. Like he's told me about like serial rapists, which is like extremely brutal to hear about. People that like stab people that like drowned a kid. Like I mean, there's shit that's like there's shit that's fucked up that you don't like hear about unless you actually work like
that shit must have been difficult like growing up with a dad that is experiencing that because the mental
it's not normal. Like there's nothing normal about that job. Like, you know what I mean?
You think that he was like affected by that shit?
100%. 100%. I think it affected our family
crazy.
As well. Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Crazy.
Like long hours, brutal shit.
So also just like not seeing sleeping. Normal things. Like
it's like seeing the ugliest of life every single day.
And I'm sure if you're a homicide detective, you gotta see the photos, or if not, see it in person. If not, you're definitely seeing the photos of what murder occurred.
Yeah, my mom was a social worker. They actually met on a child abuse case, which is insane.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's a crazy story.
That is crazy.
I think we could leave the craziness. I was gonna talk about one more crazy thing that happened, but
his brother actually, not your brother, but Baboosh was doing the corner thing. That's crazy too.
What is it?
where they pick up the
Pick up
bodies.
bodies.
Oh, the coroner?
Yeah.
So you said that?
But he's like, he wasn't the
He
actual
was
coroner.
working for the funeral homes.
Yeah, but you just like literally when somebody passes
was
away,
transferring-
you call and they come and just pick him up, and it's like he didn't have no certificate for this. He just literally.
It was like 20 a body type shit.
Yeah,
like,
it was like here 20
bucks a body.
And he goes to the house at 1 a.m. It's somebody that's been in the house for 3 days, and this nigga's just never done this before.
Oh my god.
Nobody's helping him, nothing. And
this nigga take pictures too. That's nigga's crazy.
That's crazy. But he's lifting a 300-pound body and shit, like, and just throwing it in the truck and shit, like.
And then just taking the body to the.
When he told me skin slippage and all types of shit. Like, how you doing that?
Oh
shit?
my god, no!
I was like, I personally couldn't.
No, I couldn't do that.
I couldn't even without the skin, without all that. Just looking at, I couldn't do it.
No,
that's insane.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, that's
I could never fucking
job.
do that either. Yeah.
There's some people doing some,
crazy.
like you said, seeing shit that is not normal to see.
That's not normal, yeah.
And I don't understand how they could like
psychologically
process that shit and like
keep going.
Because he did it for a short period of time. There's somebody out there that's been doing that shit for 5 years, 10 years.
Yep.
He's sick
30.
fuck.
Not for me, man.
Hey, I will say that's a business though that like, I mean, I would never want to get into that industry,
no.
but you never go out of business.
Supply,
yeah, that's true. You'll never go out of business.
Never go out of business, dog.
But yeah. On that note, man, let's not forget, shout out Moses West.
Yep.
Shout out Moses West.
Moses
Let's get
West.
that shit going, man. This is Not Impressed Cop Podcast, episode 53, man. It's your boy Kenz World.
For peace sake.
And
And
Kenz.
we had the great Kenz in here. Once again, I gotta
Big
say before
Kenz.
we go, appreciate you.
Yeah.
Feel me?
Appreciate you
Tapping in.
guys. Thanks.
You feel me? We could do this anytime. I hope you enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
Next time we won't talk about as much political or trans and
Y'all
shit.
have
No, it's
me
good though. It's good
fucking
conversation.
stressed
No, it's
out.
good conversation.
Oh my god.
This was only the warm up. You know, I feel like as it went on too, like it got more and more just, you know, free flowing and shit. So
Yeah.
it was good. So I
And the
appreciate
weed.
you tapping in, man.
Hey, shout out to the Not a Press gang.
Peace.